Hello and welcome to my channel, and welcome to this special layout design mini-series, From Town to Railroad to Layout. In this series, we're going to design an entire N-scale layout based on a prototype railroad. In this first video, we're going to start with the town of Cochrane. And why did I choose this town? Well, because it has everything. A large industry, a small industry, a yard, a station, a terminal, a workshop, and a beer shop. And in the next video, we're going to plan an entire railroad around the town of Cochrane to generate some traffic. And in the last part of the series, we're going to design an N-scale layout that fits in a one bay garage, including all of these elements. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss a single spike or tie. Let's get started. So let's start at the city of Cochrane. And here is the town in all its glory, and let's zoom in here to the railroad. As you see, there's a whole bunch of tracks. So let's see if we can make some sense out of all this and what's going on so we can put this in our own railroad. So let's start with a line diagram. The main line comes in from the southeast here on the right and goes to the west here in red, and I'm going to focus on this black line right here with the station. So let's get some bearings, and we'll start with this nice yard right here. As you can see it here on the maps as well, these 5-6 tracks that are all neatly spaced and well maintained here in the middle. But I found out there's no way to get from the yard exiting west onto the main line before the station, so you're going to have to follow this track all the way here past the station and then go on the main line and then head west or to Montesee. Looking at the next element are these tracks here. You can see them here on the map as well. There's quite a few of them all the way from this road here up to the north. Now, I don't really know if these are part of the wood processing facility or not. I believe these are team tracks because they're actually conveniently connected by road here from the station, both on the east and on the west as well. They're connected by a road. And as this is a town in the middle of nowhere, I believe they're going to probably need quite a lot of team tracks and places to load and offload. I think that's what this is. And even if it's not, in my version of the railroad, it's nice to have a lot of team tracks. So that's what this is going to be. Then moving upward, we have the industry. So you can see that right here. There's an extra line that just branches off to the north with one track here and another track here. This is EWP, this is Engineered Wood Products. So here I assume they make all kinds of MDF and fiber boards and whatnot. And then moving on to the right, past these team tracks, so quite a few tracks that go into this wood processing facility. And this facility is very large, so we're not going to be able to model everything, but let's see if we can get the core. The track here in the north goes past this building right here, and then there's some more tracks here. This is, I assume, for loading and offloading. There's also, if you look more carefully, these seem to be wood chip piles, and there are conveyor belts that go through this building, over this area here, and then to this building here. So perhaps here we can load some wood chips. So let's draw this into the schematics as well. Here we go. Yes, and there's also a ramp here. So let's see if I can find that. It's right here. There's a ramp for 2 tracks. Let's see if we can model that. That will be a nice detail to model. Moving on past the yard, and there's a terminal. We'll get to that in a minute. Here we have a nice industry. I think this is just a unpacking / warehouse facility for all the local stores in the area. And there's also an extra track that passes by the station. This, I believe, is the house track. So let's draw that in. And here is the industry / warehouse. So this track is basically used to do runarounds and to spot these cars here at the industry. Note as well the arrangement of the turnouts. From the house track, you can cross all these tracks, cross the main line, and get into the main industry as well. So don't forget there's a yard here, so if you want to get cars from the yard to this wood processing facility, you have to go on one of these tracks, then cross the main line, spot them here, probably on the storage tracks or straight into the industry. So let's move on to this terminal. First thing we see here are some tank cars, and here it seems to be some storage tanks for fuel, so this must be the fueling track. So let's draw that in. It's just right there. And then we see here a whole lot of terminal tracks connected with 2 lines here to the house track and with 1 line to the yard. So we can see that. Here is the line to the right connected to the yard. That's very convenient for the switchers, which are probably these 2 locomotives right here. And it's connected here with 2 tracks. There's 1 track on the north side of this road and 1 track here to the south side of this road. Here, this is the terminal side for the locomotives. And here you see a lot of passenger cars. So this must be a servicing facility for the passenger rail service. And in this building, I don't know what this is. I assume it's going to be some kind of workshop, perhaps for the passenger cars. And now I have been breaking my head over this. Why is there a Y here? Well, I think because on the other end of the line, which you're going to see in the next video, there's also a Y. So what they do is they turn the passenger train in its entirety on this Y. Because passenger trains often have a certain sequence and order of the rail cars. So if you want to to go back on the same line, then you need to rotate your car. So that's what you do with the Y, which is a great fun feature to have, but it's very space consuming on your layout, so I don't know if we are going to model that. So back to the schematics, and here is the workshop in the Y. And then last and certainly not least, here is the station. If we pass the station, the industry, we discussed that. Here is the branch line going to the north. Here we have the beer store. This is a separate track for the beer store, and I think that would be cool to model as well. So wow, what a track plan, what a layout, how complex this looks. But as you saw, it's all built up out of core elements, and now you know exactly why every turnout is where it is and what the purpose is of every track. So it's not that complex in the end. But having only one station is not really going to be an interesting layout for us. So in the next video, we're going to follow the prototype and see what other stations and locations we can add to the railroad and start building a story and try to generate some traffic and see which core elements we want in our own layout. Also, do have a look at my Patreon page where all this information will be made readily available for you, and where you can support this channel if you want to see more entertaining and informative videos just like this. That's all for today. Thank you very much. Bye bye.